Hello, my name's Beck. Welcome to my channel. This is my first video and I thought I should probably explain why I'm here. This video is going to be about my story, a little bit about me, how I got to this point of wanting to study herbal medicine. It's been a journey. I didn't come to this decision overnight. I'm sure many of you can relate. The last 10 years since leaving school have been full of zigzags, ups and downs. I've been pulled in so many different directions, but I really feel like deciding to study herbal medicine is where I'm supposed to be, and almost like everything that I've been through and all of the experiences, all of the pulls in different directions have actually led me here. You hear that sometimes, you hear people say that, but I've really experienced that, and I really believe that it was all pointing me right here. So I'll start from the beginning. I'll try and keep it brief, but this is my story. So in 2015, I left school. Just like so many of us, I was encouraged to go straight to university, get a good ATAR, and start my career in the outside world out of school. I did this, I got into Deakin University and I started a Bachelor of Science, but it didn't take me too long to realize that it wasn't quite what I needed. I did a Bachelor of Science because it was broad and I really enjoyed science, but I didn't know exactly which direction to take it. So I thought I'll do something broad like science, general science, and see where I go. I did one trimester and realized I wasn't ready. So I left university. And then I actually started vet nursing. So that for me was the perfect mix of science, medicine. I really care about animals. I love animals. I've always had pets. Don't at the moment, but I've been moving around a lot, so it's not really possible right now. But I thought it would be a great option. And it meant that I could get started working full-time straight away. So I did that. Loved it, but realized that the anxiety that it caused and brought up in me was not worth it. I felt a lot of pressure from the job itself, but also from myself to always be perfect. And if I made any mistake, I just felt the impact of that so heavily because it was impacting the life of an animal or of the animal's owners. And I just realized that maybe it wasn't for me at that point in my life. I was quite an anxious person, really quite dysregulated, and didn't have very many healthy coping mechanisms at that point. I also was in a relationship that was causing me quite a lot of stress, and I was 21 years old and trying to work out who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. And starting a career at that point was not exactly what I should have been doing. Well, no, it was what I should have been doing at that point, but there was a lesson to come from that experience. It wasn't a forever job for me. Is there even such a thing as a forever job? I don't know. So I ended up leaving that job. It was a really hard decision because family, friends, my workplace all were saying stay, don't leave. I'd almost finished my study. I almost had a certificate 4 in vet nursing, and I just felt that it was the wrong path for me. It didn't feel right. I was in tears all the time and just knew that that wasn't what was meant for me. So I left, despite what everybody else wanted me to do, and I do not regret that decision one bit. I encourage anyone to listen to your gut, listen to yourself, and even if everybody is telling you not to do it, if it feels right for you, then do it. Leave. Try something else. Explore. Especially when you're young, but even at any age, doesn't really matter. As long as you've got a foundation, you've got some financial security or the ability to get another job or have another job lined up. I don't want anybody to ever be in a position where, I wasn't going to leave and not be able to pay for food or pay for rent. I was in a really privileged position where I could leave without a job. I was living with my parents at the time at 21, and I had the luxury of being able to leave that job and find something else. I'm super aware that I was in a very privileged position to be able to do that. It's not always possible. Sometimes we have to set things up first, set up a bit of a safety net, and then leave. But I left the vet nursing, realized that I still loved the medical side of things, and it was just the anxiety of the job at that point in my life that I wasn't able to deal with. So at that point, I left my job of 2 years, I left my relationship of 4 years, and I decided to get a job in a cafe, save up some money, and move up to Byron Bay. And it was the best thing that I've ever done. It sparked something in me that I didn't even know was there. That freedom to move away from everything I'd ever known, meet people from all over the world, live for joy. I was just really happy and was just doing whatever I wanted to do. And it was, I guess, quite a selfish point of my life, but I felt that I needed to do that. I needed space to work out what I wanted, who I was, what I enjoyed, what I didn't, all of that kind of thing, all of that self-exploration. So I was about 23 at that point, and it just opened up the world for me. I realized that there was a different way to live and a different way to see things and a whole world out there to explore as well. So I was there for 4 months and had a really special time, met some really special people who had an enormous impact on me. And then I decided after the summer to move back to Melbourne and start a Bachelor of Environmental Science. It felt really good to be able to study something that I was passionately interested in. There was a unit I did called Society and the Environment, and it was about the connection between people and the natural environment and the impact that relationship has on us as humans and on the environment, the give and take sort of relationship that we have. I realized that yes, I was really passionate about conservation and caring for the environment, but I was also really interested in the relationship there and the positive impact that being out in the environment can have on people's mental health and on their behavior towards the environment. When people have a relationship with nature and can feel the tangible connection between us and the environment, people are more likely to want to do something about the problems that the environment is facing and to care for nature. And I just thought that was fascinating and really important. I thought there's so many solutions that we have within our grasp for the problems that we face, but one of the biggest barriers to using those solutions is engagement of the everyday person and the mindset of policymakers and decision makers and people who can have an impact on the progression of these solutions. It's about people and the environment and that connection. So that lit something in me, and I decided to volunteer then for the Jane Goodall Institute, and I became a volunteer project coordinator for a project called Return to Nature. And this was pre-COVID, lockdowns and all of that. And this program, the aim was to reconnect people with nature by taking groups out on nature walks within our local communities. And unfortunately, COVID hit, and right before we were going to launch our first walk, and it didn't happen. But again, that just really cemented for me that there is a really important link that we've become disconnected from, and it's really important that we reconnect with that, not only for ourselves but for the rest of the world. So I ended up finishing my degree in environmental science, and half of that course I studied online during COVID lockdowns. So by the end of it, I was absolutely burnt out and felt that I needed to get away, to get out of Melbourne, to get out of all of the normal everyday things that had become my norm and start again almost. So I applied for a working holiday visa for the UK, and as soon as I finished my course, I was on a plane and I didn't even go to my graduation. My mum sent me a picture of my certificate when it came in the mail. I was so eager to get out. This was another pivotal moment for me, moving to the UK. The first half of my 3 years over there was fun. I just wanted to go and meet some new people and have a similar experience to Byron Bay. I wanted to hear other people's perspectives on the world, and I wanted to see another way of living and feel another way of living and just go and explore. And then I met my partner and we had an allotment together. We went on nature walks all the time. Almost every weekend we were out in the forest. Foraging in the UK is incredible. Even if you're not picking anything to eat, just the abundance of mushrooms, fungi, herbs, flowers. There is so much to see in those forests and in the hedgerows that line the roads. There's been so many moments where I've stopped, we've pulled over the car and we've grabbed blackberries off the side of the road or picked some elderberries, or it's just incredible. So at this point I was introduced to foraging and it changed everything. It opened me up to this whole new world of discovery and exploration and play in the outdoors, and a whole new direction to take this connection between people and nature. And the excitement, I can't explain to you the excitement of walking through a forest and seeing this bright red mushroom that looks like something out of a fairy tale pop up in front of you. It's unbelievable. I started learning about the health benefits of maybe picking and eating these foods. From there, I started learning about different ways to prepare these wild medicines and wild foods. My partner and I did a wild medicine walk with the Rhizome Clinic in Bristol, and for me, that was it. I was hooked. From that moment, I knew that I wanted to do something with wild medicines. I wanted to work with wild medicines in one way or another. That kind of brought me to the conclusion that I wanted to study herbal medicine. So the end of my visa came and I had to leave the UK. So 3 years had passed. My partner and I moved back here to Melbourne, and I signed up for a Bachelor of Naturopathy at Torrens University. Actually, I signed up before I even got on the plane to come to Melbourne. So I knew that it was what I wanted to do. And comparing this decision to all of the other courses or jobs that I've had over the last 10 years, nothing has ever felt more right. And I know that sounds really cliche or whatever, but I feel in my gut and I feel in my heart that this is the right direction for me. It's the perfect blend of medicine and nature connection and helping people and serving community and spirit. And there is just so many boxes that this kind of career ticks for me. And it's not even just the career, it's the lifestyle that is built around this area or this field. By learning what I'm going to learn, I can help my own families, and I have then the opportunity to work online or remotely. I can consult remotely. I can work with local communities, run workshops. There's just so much flexibility that's available to me by doing this. It suits the life and the dream of a life that I have, and it suits my idea of a career that is meaningful and fulfilling and flexible. So I have one more change to make, I think. I'm signed up for a Bachelor of Health Science in naturopathy, but I'm thinking that I will transfer to a Bachelor of Health Science in Western Herbal Medicine instead. I'll talk more about my reasoning for that in another video later, but that's where I want to be. So that's my story. I hope that from this you can see that although the decision didn't come overnight to become a medical herbalist, these sorts of decisions are not answers that come to you overnight. They come from working out who you are. They come from years and years of experience and navigating difficult times and navigating the zigzags and the ups and downs of your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s or whenever it is that you decide to make a decision like this. But it does not have to happen overnight, and you have to just trust in the path and trust that you will get to where you want to be, and that in these last 10 years I have been at every point exactly where I was supposed to be, because otherwise I wouldn't have ended up here where I am today, having made this decision and feeling so content in that decision and so sure. So you don't have to know as soon as you leave school what you want to do for the rest of your life. You might change your decision 20 times over a lifetime and try so many different things, and I think that's so beautiful because it helps you become this multifaceted human being with different interests and a wealth of experience, and it helps you to meet different types of people and hear different stories and explore different cultures. And I think it's so important to explore first, and then at one point something will happen and the light bulb comes on and you go, oh right, this is where it was all leading. So this channel is going to be me documenting my experience from here on out. And if you're thinking about studying herbal medicine, follow along. I'll be talking about the university that I've decided to go with, Torrens University, and my experience with them. I'll be talking about how I manage working alongside studying. There may be a point in the future, fingers crossed, that my partner and I will be moving into a van and traveling Australia. And at that point, I'll still be studying. So I'll be documenting that experience and our journey together. So yeah, keep watching, and I'll keep you updated as I move through this new exciting experience. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it to this point. I hope I get to see you all again soon.